I know it's been a while since I've been on. Actually, it's been a week, but it feels like so much longer. After I did my 30-day challenge doing this every day and then moving over to a weekly session, it seemed like I was on all the time. And so missing last week because I was sick. Now I feel like I haven't been on in a month. So sort of just bear with me. So while I'm waiting for people to jump on and say hi, I'm just kind of curious, are you guys ready for the holiday? Or is your Christmas tree decorated? Do you have your presents under the tree? You know, we were sick, so we didn't get a lot done, but we did do some wonderful Christmas things. We went out to what's called the World of Illumination. It's one of those drive-through parks where everything's all lit up, and my 6-year-old had an absolute blast. We did get our tree up. I'm gonna just kind of turn it here for a smidge to see if you can see our tree. It's not fully lit up because when it came, one of the lights is blown out, and so I've got to go through the whole thing and try to figure out where the blown light is. Either that, or I'm just going to order a whole new string of lights and put it on. And also, if you had noticed, the decorations on the top are a little sparse, and that is because my 6-year-old helped me decorate the tree. And he's only about, yay tall, so his hand range is literally in one spot, and it's on the lower half of the tree. So we have like this whole conglomeration of bulbs right here. I don't know if you can see them, like the ornaments there. I don't know if you can see them. That's where they all are, because it's where my son put them. And I don't dare move them. Oops, sorry about that, you guys. There we go. Let's see if we can get this a little more steady here. All right, so yeah, so that's our Christmas tree for now. And like I said, I don't dare move the bulbs that my son put on because he will notice, and I don't want to insult him in any way. So anyhow, as we're going, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first of all, I usually go through, hi there, thanks for joining. I usually go through my events and promos that I have going on right now, and I have a lot. So I actually do have a little cheat sheet right here, just in case I forget something. Okay, so first of all, the Winter Wonders blog hop, as you guys all know, is over. So that's done, but you can still get all the Winter Wonders patterns if you're interested. If you missed the blog hop, you can still get it. We do still have the Winter Wonders bundle that is available, and I believe it's only available through the 19th. I think the cart closes on the 19th. So anything that I tell you about in today's live, I will, when I post it, I will put the links in the description. So there'll be the link for that in the description. Okay, so starting tomorrow, I have a new pattern out. You guys kind of getting a little sneak peek over here. This is my desk. I don't usually do my lives inside. Most people know I do them outside in the Arizona sun, but it is actually getting cooler now, and I still have a little bit of the sniffles from being sick, so I did not want to be outside today. So I am inside, but I do hope that you can kind of see through the dark drapes that we have here. We still have a lot of sunshine going on here in this state right now. But anyway, so tomorrow is the launch of this beanie here. I call it the You'll Always Be in My Heart beanie. And it's going to be a free one on my blog, and you can get it as part of Cal Central's holiday stash down. And the whole premise of the stash down is that it was to create a project that could either be done with one skein of yarn or from your yarn stash. And this one is actually both. So that will be free on the blog tomorrow. I will put in a link, but there will also be posts all over my Instagram, Facebook, and all that, so you'll be able to find it. The other thing is the You Decide, I Design. So if you guys don't know what this is, I am doing a promo for 2022 where I am letting you guys decide everything about one of the projects that I'm going to design. We are on week number 5. The results for week number 4 are up. I'm going to put the link in the description, and you can jump over there, check out what the polling results were for week 4, and cast your vote on week 5. You guys, I already have about 82, I think, responses to this. I have 82 people voting already on week 5. So go in and cast your vote. The voting does go through the 20th of this week. So go ahead and make sure you go there and cast your vote. Then I do have one other promo starting this week, and it will not be tomorrow, it'll be the day after. So on December 17th, I have joined forces with with Frankie and Kate, as well as Susanna from Fosboss Designs, and we are doing a big end of the year giveaway. And I wrote notes on this because it actually has 7 winners and each part is a little bit different. So 5 winners, if I remember correctly, 5 winners are gonna get one of each of our patterns. So you're gonna get 3 PDF patterns for 5 winners. And then, this is the part I had to write down, you guys. Okay, then 1 winner is gonna get this skein of yarn right here. This is a 75-25 merino nylon, and it is fingering weight. I hand dyed this myself. This is in colorway Mermaid's Kiss. So 1 winner is going to get this, as well as, I believe it is, let's see, 1 pattern from Fosboss Crochet, and then 3 patterns from Frankie and Kate. So that's a total of 4 patterns plus the skein of yarn. Now the skein of yarn, it is open internationally. If you are US based, I will cover the shipping for the yarn. However, if you are international, you are going to be required to cover the shipping yourself for that one if you happen to be the winner for that particular one. And then there is going to be 1 more winner. So our 7th winner is going to get 4 patterns from me. It's my Homewares Collection. All of this is going to be posted on my Instagram, so you'll get to see all the patterns and everything. I just had too many patterns to be able to show you pictures of all of them. So I'm giving you 4 of my Homewares Collection. You're getting 2 patterns from Fosboss Crochet, and then Frankie and Kate is giving away her entire 2021 design collection, and that is 15 patterns. So 1 winner is going to get in total 21 patterns. So it's a super, super cool thing, and I hope you guys will all join us. Like I said, it launches December 17th. There will be, I'll put it in my story on my post, and it'll give you all the directions on how you can enter this amazing giveaway. The giveaway is going to run for 5 days, and of course it is not supported by or in association with Instagram at all, just so you guys know that, okay? So now on to my works in progress. So I didn't get much done since the last time I was on, and that's, like I said, I was sick. So this is the spring, one of the spring tops that I'm working on. It is seamed together, but I don't have the neck, the arms, or the hem on it yet. And the main reason for that was the model for this is going to be my daughter. And every single time she comes over, I forget to have her try it on. I want her to try it on to make sure that it fits the way that I want it to fit before I put all the finishing touches on it. So I haven't really made much progress there. As you guys know, I am working on a spring duster. This is the back piece. This goes all the way down to almost to my ankles. I have completed the back. I have completed one of the side pieces, and I actually have the other side piece in progress. And once that's done, I'll be able to seam it all together. And then I think I don't know if I'm gonna do a belt or if I'm gonna do a little tie here, exactly what I'm gonna do with it, but there we are in progress. Last time I also showed you that I have another spring progress. Yeah, so I actually have more projects going on right now than I had intended. I had this certain way where I was going to start one, finish it while I'm starting the second one, and get that kind of midway, and then start my third one, and just kind of keep going in like a sequence. But because I've forgotten, and I've gotten sick, and I forgot to get my daughter to wear this one here, I'm a little bit behind. So here I am on the third one, right here. This is going to be the centerpiece to the third one, and I'm planning on it being a spring cardigan. I'm planning it to kind of come down the back, so this part will be the center of the back. It's gonna come out, and then it's gonna come down the shoulders this way. That is what my hope is anyway, so this is how it is starting out. So I gotta do a little bit more work on that. And then it turns out I had one more thing that I'd kind of forgotten about, so it's sort of taken precedence. I had to jump on. I have a cowl coming up in February and March. I have joined in on a cowl by Sunflower Cottage Crochet. This is going to be a bouquet of flowers, and the point of this is each designer is going to design a flower. We're going to release one square each week, and ultimately the whole thing will come together as a blanket. So I do have to design my flower square. So I started on this, and right now all I have is a photo. I spent a lot of time doing this, guys. So this is on a grid. I'm gonna be doing a tapestry crochet flower. yeah, I can't tell you how many times I redid this, but as of right now, I think this is my final. So what I need to do at this point is now work up the prototype, get it into testing, and hopefully have everything ready to go by January so that we can be ready to go for the Cal in February. So this is the fourth thing that I am now working on. Okay, so I think that's it. We did events and promos, we did works in progress. So now what I want to do is I want to go over the answers to the top 5 questions that crocheters ask me, okay? And so number 1, how do I start crocheting? It's a pretty easy one, you guys, because to start to crochet, you need 2 basic things. You need a skein of yarn and a hook. Now, I highly recommend for beginners that you choose a light colored, like this one here. This is Bone, and this is Karen Simply Soft. Okay, choose a light, solid color. Do not use variegated yarn. Do not use dark yarn. It is extremely difficult to see your stitches, okay, if you use a dark or variegated or multicolored yarn. So please, please, please use a light colored, and I also recommend a medium weight. This is a medium 4. It's not too thin, not too thick, pretty easy to work with, great for beginners, okay? The hook size that I like to use is anywhere from a 5.5 millimeter to a 6 millimeter. This is my favorite 6 millimeter hook, so I would strongly advise using a 5.5 to a 6 millimeter when you're starting out. Okay. Second question I get is, how do I keep my tension even? And this is a really hard one, you guys, because, just in case you don't know, tension is how loosely or firmly you are crocheting. So a lot of it depends on how firmly you're holding onto your yarn as you crochet. And so to keep that even, it can be really difficult. And there's, you know what, they have actually tension rings, tension regulators. There are actually things that you can buy to kind of help you with this. You wear them on your finger as you're crocheting, and it's supposed to help keep your tension even. But honestly, I could do a whole segment on how to work with your tension and try to keep it even, but really what it ultimately boils down to, you guys, is practice. And I know you're gonna hate hearing that, but it's completely true. You need to practice over and over and over. You need to just make sure, practice keeping your yarn wrapped around your finger exactly the same way. Practice using your hook exactly the same way. So that way that you don't end up with a project where it's maybe more tight on the bottom, looser on top, and then maybe more tight again. And it's perfectly natural when you're first starting to learn to crochet that you're gonna crochet very tightly and then loosen up as you go. But the only way you're going to really learn how to keep that evenness in your tension is to just practice. It's the long way around, but it's the truth, okay? So third question that I get asked a lot is, how do I keep my edges even? My stitch count is off. My project looks wonky. The edges aren't straight. Okay, the main culprit behind that is usually that you are inadvertently adding or skipping over stitches when you are crocheting a row. So you could end up, if you're skipping stitches, you're gonna end up with less stitches and your project's gonna kind of squish in. And if you are adding stitches, your project's gonna kind of fan out. Now, I have a free course, and I'll put the link in here. I have an absolute free course I've created a crochet school, the Crochet Academy, that goes over how to how to count stitches and rows in crochet. It is a really extensive course. I go through all of these examples with, an actual fabric piece. I tell you, I show you how to count your rows. I show you how to count your stitches to keep those even. So if you want to take a look at that, I'll put the link in the description. It's a really, really great resource for you. So for the last 2 questions, I'm going to actually want to show you an in progress. So I'm going to tilt my camera so you might see my ceiling for just a second. Okay, so the 4th question that I get a lot is, does the turning chain count as a stitch or not? And this actually really plays into keeping your stitches even and giving an accurate stitch count. So I actually go over this quite a bit in my free video course that I've just told you about, and I'll put the link in for you. So what I've done here is I've done a little mock turning chain right here. And now, in traditional crochet, this is what I teach you in the course. In traditional crochet, this turning chain does not count as a stitch. Okay, the only time you're going to count it as a stitch is if you were instructed to do so in a pattern. So when you're looking at a pattern, after it says, you know, what you're going to chain for your turning chain, there should be a parentheses that tells you whether or not it counts as a stitch. Usually it'll say counts as a double crochet, or counts as a stitch, or counts as a single crochet, depending on whatever stitch that you're doing. If it does not say that, you should safely assume that it does not count as a stitch. So how does this affect your stitch count and evenness of your rows? Well, so when you're not counting your turning chain as a stitch, it has to do with where you're going to place your next stitch. Now, can you guys see this, or do I need to go down a bit here? Let's see if I'll go down a little bit here. So when the turning chain does not count as a stitch, you're going to start your first stitch right here, literally right next to the turning chain. And this is going to be kind of like a little extra bit that hangs off the edge. You see it here? And this is double crochet, okay? Now, if your pattern says that the turning chain does count as a stitch, the placement of your next stitch is going to be different. It is not going to be right here. It's going to be right here. And the way I remember that is if this turning chain counts as a stitch, if you pull it up, it basically sits right on top of this stitch right here. So this becomes, in my mind, this is all one stitch. So my next stitch goes here. So you're going to count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep going, okay? Whereas if the turning chain doesn't count as a stitch, you're going to start number 1 right here. And this can seriously affect your stitch count, because if you count both the turning chain and this stitch, you're going to be inadvertently adding stitches to your project, and your rows are going to be off. You're going to end up with kind of like a flaring out as you go. It's going to keep getting like a mushroom almost. It's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger this way, okay? So it's really, really, really important that you understand the turning chain, you understand whether or not it counts as a stitch or not, and where to place your next stitch, okay? So the third question that I get a lot is, the final question that I get a lot is, how do I change colors in crochet? Now, I could do a whole other segment giving you multiple different ways of changing colors in crochet, but I don't have that kind of time for today, so I might make that a different segment, but I'm gonna show you my favorite way to change colors in crochet. So let me grab my hook, which I left over here on my desk. Okay, so my favorite way is to start your next stitch, and when you're about halfway through that stitch, bring in your new color, okay? So I have some red here. Let me make sure I have enough out. Okay. And I'm using the double crochet. So I'm just going to show you how to do this with the double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over. And just so that you can see, now like I said, this usually does not count as a stitch, but just so you can see what I'm doing better, I'm going to actually just go into this stitch and give myself some space, okay? So I'm going to go under this stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. Okay, and then I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and now at this point I'm going to finish the stitch with this red color. Okay, so I'm going to put the red on. And I'm going to pull through. All right, if it's not going to be tricky for me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on at this point, dropping the yellow and continue on with the red. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I'm just going to kind of tighten this stitch up. So I'm going to take this out so you can see what I mean. So now this stitch looks a little loose on the top. So I'm just going to take my red here. I'm just going to tighten it a little bit. I'm going to tighten with my yellow, okay? And then I'm just going to continue on. And this technique works in the middle of your crochet project, or even at the end of your crochet project, okay? So that is my favorite way to change colors in crochet. Like I said, there are multiple ways. That is my favorite one. So now I'm going to pop the camera just back up so that I can say goodbye to you. Let's see. All right. And there we have it. Those are my answers to the top 5 questions crocheters usually ask me. That's my work in progress for this last actually couple weeks because I wasn't on last week. And that's the events and promos that I have going on. So remember, I have 2 coming up, one tomorrow and one the day after that. So please make sure that you check my Instagram grid or my stories. They will be posted there. Also, go over to the You Decide I Design on my website and cast your vote for week 5. And I hope to be back next week. Now, next weekend is Christmas weekend. So if I get super, super swamped with all the holiday, I've got I have lots of gifts coming in, lots of wrapping, baking, cooking, all that sort of stuff that I have to do. So if I am not going to be here next Wednesday, I will make sure I put it in my IG story to let you know when I will be back, because if I am not back next week, it means that more than likely I won't be back until after the holidays, which would put me sometime at the first week of January, okay? So anyways, I'm glad that you guys could all make it here today. It was nice seeing you all again. Merry Christmas if I don't see you between now and holiday time, and have a good day.